Yeah, I really like Road Atlanta. I think it's a really challenging racetrack for the Yamaha because it's definitely a track that kind of favors horsepower, and that's not always the strength of our bike. But on the flip side, we've done really well there in the past with the Westby team. The thing I'd say I'm most excited about is we've made a bunch of technological updates to the bike. We've got a whole bunch of new electronics, gearbox, engine package. That's a big thing I'm looking forward to, just seeing how the bike performs there. We've had some pretty major improvements in terms of the engine side, and we've found a new engine partner for 2025. We typically have done engines in-house in the past, and to try to kind of make our program more well-rounded, we're actually bringing on a new partner, a guy named Gary Virgin at Evansville Superbike. He's going to be doing some engines for us this year. We had him rebuild one, the same one that we had an issue with at Barber, but that was a rebuilt engine. So we sent him a brand new stock and kind of did like a ground up full Superbike spec build. Did pretty well on the dyno. Didn't have a lot of dyno time, but enough to break it in. So really excited to see that thing on the racetrack and see what it does out there.
Drive up the hill there. Hopefully next.
This is the green trace here is your grip.
Yep.
So, I would say, unfortunately, the engine did not meet our expectations. Unfortunately, had a pretty similar issue to what we had at Barber, which was it didn't actually last a complete session. So that is a situation it's just not acceptable for our program. It put our guys under a tremendous amount of stress and pressure. So for me, that's problem number one. I don't want to put the team under unneeded stress. We didn't see a major performance step with the engine package, and so for us to have no major improvement in performance, a clear reliability issue 2 rounds in a row, losing track time and that kind of thing, I'd say it's safe to say we're going to start moving in a different direction.
We're in Brazelton, Georgia, at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, and the skies have opened up and the track is wet as we set the stage for race number 1.
Benjamin doing a really good job trying to get into that top 5 spot.
Once I got up to speed, it was good. But it was, if I have a moment, it's not right on initial throttle, but it's not long after.
Okay.
Like,
so TC, like, did you feel the thing at you, or is it, quick, snappy, or is it kind of slow, predictable?
It wasn't ever really a slow predictable.
Yeah.
It was not a shit, but it was quicker. Yeah, but I could feel, like, as crazy as it sounds, like in the moment, the bike catch itself, like the TC being like, oh shit. So it definitely helped.
That felt pretty good. I would say, especially given the context of what happened during the weekend. We had more than one issue, again, starting off that weekend, which is, for us, not the way we plan to start this year off. For us to miss 2 first sessions at Barber and then miss the 2 first sessions at Road Atlanta, it's not exactly a pattern that I wanted to establish. So, and it's for sure something that we're not going to allow to continue. So, needless to say, that kind of changed our plans. We didn't have time to implement some of the things that we wanted to test. It sort of changed our whole strategy for the start of the weekend. That being said, we knew we had a good setting. We knew we had a good base. So it was really nice to see Ben qualify well with what we gave him, and then to turn that into a P5 in the first race. First milestone achieved, and we were all pretty happy with that.
I mean, yeah, like you said, yesterday was definitely tough. We just dealt with electrical issues, honestly, all day. The team busted their butts. I mean, they went through everything you could possibly think of to get the thing firing and going, but it just was one of those things, wasn't meant to be. But yeah, like you said, we got a little bit of dry track time this morning in qualifying, and then the skies opened up, and it was definitely raining for the race today. But man, I mean, we haven't had that much time on this bike in the wet, honestly, but the base setup that we have is clearly pretty good. I'm pretty confident in it. So yeah, kind of was just tried to ride a smart, methodical race and just chip away at it. Started in 8th, I believe, and yeah, we wound up getting our first top 5 of the season, first top 5 in the Superbike for the team, for myself. So to do that in the second round of the year, especially given all the circumstances that we've had, I think everybody's pretty happy with it.
Right. That's almost so. It came down and they kept catching me, and then I went up on the TC.
Well, I mean, that was the thing, you know, and that's inevitable with any race program or any rider, team member, anything. That's, you know, it's you're happy to achieve that milestone, but then you're looking ahead. So for us, obviously, where we want to be is the podium. So that's what we want to build on. We've been able to achieve these results so far with missing the majority of the track time up to that moment. So there's no reason we shouldn't be on the podium. Yeah, that's actually something that's really a highlight of the weekend for me. A good friend of mine, Blake Kelly, and another good friend, Garrick Schneiderman, a couple of longtime guys and former racers, actually, that brilliant minds and very talented mechanical engineer / fabricator duo. And we kind of were talking, like, what can we do to sort of elevate our presence in the paddock? And we were looking at some of the car racing series, IMSA and that kind of thing. And they had some pretty trick stuff. So we decided to sort of, from the ground up, design something like that for the motorcycle paddock. And so we ran it by some of the partners in MotoAmerica. And once we got the green light, we hit the ground running. And it took a long time to get the thing up, but I think it came out pretty good.
What's the plan for the second story?
So that is really going to be primarily for sort of like special guests. You know, obviously we're, you know, as much as I would love, maybe we might put like a fireman's pole down the middle, you know, that way I can hang out up there, and when something important happens, I can just come spin down the pole. But no, realistically, that's going to be more for like sponsors or people that want to come visit. And it's cool because when you're up there, you don't realize it's just a perspective that you've never been able to enjoy on hot pit before. You know, we've all been used to that first tier perspective. From there, you can see the whole front straight. You can see all the other teams. It's a pretty cool and unique perspective. So that's the goal, is just to try to give our visitors and our special guests a nice place to go. Working with Flo is actually really, it's interesting. Yeah, because in the past, I've had a very, I would say, everyone I've worked with in the motorcycle racing paddock has been very experienced and largely involved on the technical side in some major way. So all of my past relationships, those guys have been, for the most part, with teams that have been around for a long time. So the thing about Flo that's really different, and at first I didn't know what to make of it, honestly, is he just has a totally different perspective, because in a lot of ways he's kind of an outsider to the race world, and he embraces that, and I think it makes the atmosphere kind of fun. He and I have two totally different skill sets and mentalities. Flo is really good at also staying relatively light during the weekend. I can tend to get a little focused and intense, because I'm very goal oriented and focused on targets throughout the weekend. Whereas Flo is kind of there to kind of remind us all to have fun and to make the most of the situation. And he's really good at branding and doing that kind of thing. So I like it. Our personalities sort of complement each other, because there's quite the contrast there. The potential's obviously there. Obviously, for all of us, it's a new team. There's a lot of things that we're still working through, but Ben has shown that he has a high level, and I'm confident that once everything comes together, we're going to be right there.